broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hi guys, welcome back to the Foster's After Show on AfterBuzz TV. Tonight we're breaking down Season 3, Episode 7, called Faith, Hope, Love. Now we have a lot to say about it. Those are big themes. And as always, Jillian Leff is here. She's going to be checking Twitter all night. You can tweet at us using the hashtag ABTVFosters. We love hearing from you. You can tweet us comments, questions, concerns.
Things that make you go,
Things that make you go, a great addition. If you can't tweet with us live, feel free to tweet us after the fact and comment on YouTube and iTunes. We love hearing from you. We already introed Jillian, but where do you tweet from, Jillian?
I tweet from @JillianLeff, and you can tag me in the tweet too if you want.
Wow, I love that Twitter handle. That's so clever. What about you, Hannah? Please intro yourself.
Hey guys, I'm Hannah Prichard. I tweet from @TheHotShotDude.
And I'm Stephanie Giorgi, and I tweet from @Stephanie Giorgi.
Awesome. I'm Jeffrey Masters. I tweet from Jeff Masters1, and I have a confession to make, guys. Here it is.
Okay.
I'm really nervous about Callie's adoption. How can they keep doing this to us?
I know. Last time when I was watching it, my roommate was like, yes! And I looked at her, I was like, why? And she's like, finally, Robert and Callie will be together. Like Robert Quinn. I know. So
That is quite true.
Not permanently, though.
you're the one that said that Bradley is gonna...
But at this point, exactly.
Bradley's
it
gonna
has
happen, and that has to happen this way.
Yeah, if it's going to happen, then it has to happen. Like, then she can't be adopted. It just kind of is.
How do you feel?
I'm feeling nervous. I don't know. Here's what okay. I have mixed feelings because part of me is annoyed at the writers because I'm like, this is so annoying to make her keep almost going so close and missing it. However, it's not like it is the writers, but it's not because that's like the system and it's such like a real thing that can keep happening.
It's true.
And also, if you think about it, the lady said she can't make the recommendation for the adoption because of what's happened and they need to investigate further. And honestly, she's looking out for the best interest of Callie.
Yeah.
Like that's her job. She doesn't know what wonderful parents Steph and Lena are. Yeah. So like really by the book, this is like a great thing. But as viewers, it's like, oh my God, it's just like another issue with being like adopted.
It's just woe is Callie all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when is any, like, from last week, the birthday party, which was like, it just completely bombed, and then the end was like, you know, semi-happy, whatever. She got her birthday kiss. But like, this week, from the bombshell that happened at the end of the episode to buying a stolen car and all these things, I'm just like, can't we just see her happy for more than 2 episodes?
Yeah, that'd be
because
great.
honestly, that's all that's all it pretty much is. It's like, oh, we see her, you know, happy, her happiness, you know, it focuses on another person's drama. I would just like to see her get the ending that she deserves and wants.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get like preachy or anything, but I like work with the Trevor Project, and before that I would have thought like this is so unrealistic to have like 1,000 horrible things to happen to one person. But like really when I've learned, like working with kids, like when one thing bad happens, it's so easy to have like 9 more bad things happen. And it's like, this isn't like a special circumstance.
Yeah, it's true.
And she's a teenage girl. I want to say that teenage girls happen to live very dramatic lives.
They drive to Mexico with boys.
It's just one of those things where you get confused, and she's someone where so much has happened to her. I feel that her character just continues to think that she can do what she wants. She's like, well, I learned my lesson, but doesn't realize she has more lessons to learn. So I don't know. It sucks, but at the same time, like you said, it's a spiral effect because then it affects everything else that they do.
Trey Michael just tweeted, Robert can't have Callie because he already signed over the rights.
Wait, but couldn't, like, so that means he can never have her? I didn't know that's how that worked.
I'm not sure the technicality of it.
I don't know the technicalities, but like he signed the rights over to Steph and Lena,
Right.
but like at the moment they can't house her,
Right.
and Rita can't house her because Rita has AJ. So like he's like the next best thing. He's her birth father.
Yeah.
The law loves birth fathers.
Right. And I'm willing to bet that she, honestly, at this point, I wouldn't want to stay with anyone else but Robert.
Right.
if I was her.
It's hard. A lot of the fans are tweeting. Lily White just tweeted, I feel like Callie won't get adopted until she ages out, which, like, we have to think about. So she just turned
17.
Okay, so she has one more year. The timeline has been very short for this show. So it's a very large possibility.
I never thought about her
sad.
aging out and never actually getting legally adopted. Wow.
Well, yeah, because she just turned 17, right?
And I just remembered, because, like, if she does go to Robert, it would just be her and Robert, right? Because Sophia's living with the mom. Oh my God, that'd be so nice.
Though, yeah. It's...
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, like, the technicalities that Trey was talking about, like, if that is or isn't. I don't think any of us do. But it would just be too hard at this point to introduce another character for Callie to live with.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Seriously.
There's so many, like, series regulars already.
Jonathan Mangan just tweeted, Callie can never be happy. It's the Fosters.
Right, that's true.
which should be the tagline of the show, I think.
It's a prophecy.
But this would be a good build-up. I feel like it would make sense. Like you said, you couldn't bring anyone else. And now that we've grown to like Robert Quinn, had it happened in the very beginning, we would have been like, oh man, forget it.
I don't know. I still would have been stoked. I love Kirsten.
Well, no, but now it's more understanding, I feel.
Yeah. So you were saying earlier that you think this paves the way for Bradley to happen again because they won't be living together. But Bradley versus Callie and Tom, AJ right now, how are y'all feeling?
Well, obviously, I'm still down for, like, the Callie and AJ. I like the heat between them. I think it's, like, fun and But in game, we all want Bradley to be together.
Well, Miss Hannah.
Stop your nonsense.
No. In this episode, I was like so shocked when she was telling
him about Brandon, and she was like, we fell in love and then we had to stop it. And I was like, yes, girl.
Right?
It.
And I was surprised AJ wasn't like, wait, you were in love with him?
She's not into him. Like, she's not into AJ.
She's having fun. She knows what AJ has to offer. But I have to say that's the exact same part that I noticed also, Jill, that I was so surprised because I think it almost took me back where I thought, wait, did they say they loved each other? Like, that was known, or was it just a romance that we saw and identified ourselves as an audience?
I thought that was huge.
That was huge too. She said we fell in love and we felt kind of hard. I'm like, wait, so you knew? Like, so that was spoken of.
I was just shocked that question was happening. Period. Like, it was so honest.
It was, but that was so appropriate.
I think
of her.
I think that Callie and AJ are on a different level than the other characters because AJ is Callie when she, first came in to a loving home and family and all these things.
It's almost what Callie would have been had she not found this loving family in Steph and Lena.
Yes.
Would have been AJ.
So I just think that she's down with AJ for that. And I think that ultimately they can be great friends. I don't know if that can happen with AJ because even when we met his brother, Ty, he was like, oh, you got a new shorty? Like, what's up? Like, so he sees the chemistry. And AJ obviously has more feelings for Callie than Callie has for AJ. So this is a slippery slope. Like, this has happened so many times where girls friend zone guys. But the guys still try because they're like, no, I can change her. I mean, we do the same thing.
Right. Well, but I mean, I think that guys should never give up. I feel like if a man wants something, he'll do anything to get it. So I respect that. However, you also have to, at one point, accept the rejection.
Accept it, yes, and yet it's so much fun seeing his like overt flirtatious like energy with Callie.
I love it.
It's great. We've never seen that. Wyatt was awkward as all hell. Like, so I was like, I like them together. I like their scenes together. That scene where they were like cute on the bench in the beginning. I was dying. I was like, wow, this is great. Like, this is what we're not seeing from Bradley. Because we don't have those moments right now. They're leading sort of two separate storylines. So although I feel like it's about to crash and burn, I'm happy that Bradley is coming back together and we're going to start talking about them as a couple again.
I can't wait then for Brandon and AJ to have a conversation now after AJ knows. Right?
Oh, yes. Because he might bring it up.
Oh, he totally is going to bring it up. I feel like that kid doesn't like hide anything unless it's about his brother. Yeah. You know what I mean? Everything else he's like, so you did this? You did that?
You see, but I know. I just wonder I wonder how Brandon's going to speak about that entire situation. Callie was just really, really confident about that.
I feel like Brandon's straight up still going to be like, yeah, I still love her.
Oh my God.
Really?
I know.
I do.
Oh man, we have to wait till predictions.
Because he hasn't been with anybody else since Callie and hasn't even showed interest, has he?
He's been with Lou.
Oh shoot, I forgot about Lou.
But that's okay. They're allowed. They're teenagers. That's
But Lou, that was like the
unbelievably
same.
normal.
That was like the same kind of relationship that I feel like Callie's trying to do with AJ right now.
I don't know. I really like
just
them together. What do
convenient.
you got on Twitter?
Jessica Riley said, I hope Bradley happens. They have said I love you to each other in season 1, episode 15. They said it.
Was it when they were playing the guitar?
That was
Why do I
so
feel
long
like I
ago.
remember?
I'm so
like,
tempted to rewatch
so
everything
old.
again.
I don't remember that.
That's very specific. I'm very
Yeah,
impressed.
like good for it. Like I'm gonna go back and watch episode 15. I think it's on Netflix. If you guys
No,
wanna...
it's perfect. I'm glad that they said that because I want to
Yeah.
hear it and watch it again.
Let's see. Danny Sanchez says, I just think Callie needs to take a break from boys right now.
Yes.
Jessica also said, I read online that Brandon and Callie will start reconnecting through all the drama, which is exciting.
Wait, that's a great point that Danny made. I love their chemistry, love them together. I think he pulls out a fun, like, carefree side of her that she doesn't explore a lot. And yet, again, with her, like, adoption being up in the air, it's a horrible time to see anybody, be it like a Bradley Endgame thing
Is
or
there
not.
ever a good time for love, Jeff?
No.
Let's be honest. How many times do you say to yourself, I am going to be single, I just want to date, I'm going to have fun, and then you meet someone and you're like,
It's always when you say that is when
Yes.
you meet somebody.
Yes.
And it's so dumb. I feel like people, like, that's just something that someone says that's in a relationship. They're like, oh my God, it's when you least expect it. It kind of is.
It's because I think it's because you're giving off a different vibe, and that's what the other, the opposite kind of is attracted to.
Yep.
Whereas when you're looking for it, you're vulnerable, and people feed off on that energy. So it's, I don't know.
And yet, when you're 17, you need
I know,
shelter.
you're right,
You
sorry.
need a family to live with.
We're
Okay,
talking
but
like
here-
she's grown. You're
This
right.
is my only thing though. Like, I know she's like dating a lot, and yeah, she should probably be by herself. But then there's that part of me that's like, when you're in high school, when you're a kid, when you're in college, I'm like, date as much as you can. Like, have fun as much as you can, because then life starts to happen afterwards, and it's not fun anymore.
But also, it's like practice. Practice dating while you can. You'll meet somebody you like a lot, and you'll be
Exactly.
horrible at it.
Do all the mess ups when you're younger.
Is this a dating show? Call in.
It would be a great dating show. We could do this.
We have good advice.
could do this.
Also has good advice. Rita. She's back.
Rita.
I
Her
love her
scenes
scenes.
were so good this episode.
She's always.
She called Callie out. She said, "You can't go through life repeating the same mistakes." In her like metaphor to her overeating.
Oh,
I loved it.
That was amazing, actually.
Yeah, she's like, "I can't stop put down the ice cream, and you can't put down like problems."
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. That it's you're a creature of your own habit or whatever the saying is, and unfortunately, Callie's it's almost as if she feels comfortable there.
Yes.
And she does it subconsciously. She doesn't even realize it because she's just like, when everything's okay, which is for a lot of people, that's when they get their anxiety attacks after everything, once the storm has settled or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And then boom, it something big happens.
Yeah, because Callie's main identity is built around being a fighter and like surviving. And now that she doesn't have to, well, kind of, but when in the past episodes she is with a beautiful family who loves her, she doesn't need to fight for survival. And it's like, well, now what?
Yes.
What do I do now?
She does need to take a break though. I agree with you. You're right.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see. I was really happy to see that Steph and Lena were protecting her as well, but not telling the family why AJ was leaving.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Agreed.
That was like a nice touch too.
Well, and because they have to be aware of Brandon's feelings about it. Like, he was sitting at the table also, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's inappropriate for him to know that, especially in the company of their entire family.
Yeah.
Like, if he's going to know and they're going to tell Brandon, it has to be one-on-one, or they have to let Callie do it.
I feel like Brandon knows what's up. Ultimately, I think he knows.
I think you
Deep
just
down.
have to be careful too, because it's one of those things where, unfortunately, as a woman, they're like, look what you're just starting not to look so good.
Yeah,
what are you
as
doing?
well.
Like another brother? Are you serious? Come on.
Yeah, it looks really bad.
It
Even
looks
though I did
bad.
love
And
how
I don't want to
AJ
say that because I feel like I'm sounding judgmental and very critical, but I feel like no, you're gonna. That's
You
how
only had
rumors start, and that's
2
how,
times.
yes,
You did it both.
exactly.
You did it both.
And yet, to her credit, too, it's like you fall in love with people like in your proximity. When you're
Yes.
17, you're not scheduling dates and calling up people and like making plans.
who you're
spending
around.
time with who you're around. Yeah. So while we think it's a bad idea, we're not judging her. Definitely.
True.
I want to make that clear. I like that the family brought in Rita for reinforcement. That was a nice touch. I don't know how AJ is going to fit into the Girls United home, though.
Well, I don't know why I didn't take it as he was going to be at the Girls United home. I thought he was really just going to be with Rita, but I guess Rita lives.
Didn't she open it back up, though, for the other girls?
Yeah,
thought
Robert
so
Quinn
too.
bought the house.
Yeah. And remember she brought over like Charinda and Daphne and the other girls to the birthday party?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know, that's going to be
we'll see
weird.
next
Maybe
week.
it'll be a situation though where she's like now hired more staff at Girls United and she has an apartment to herself
Yeah.
and AJ stays. I don't know.
Maybe. Well, here's the
Girl-
thing,
Well,
though,
no,
because the
you know
Girls
what?
United would jump on AJ.
Yes.
He is
Oh,
staying
God.
at the house because she said we're going over some house rules.
Yes.
When she was
right.
with Mike. So he will.
You got one strike.
Yeah, so he will be there, but I wonder how long it's going to take for Mike to get his foster
Permanent
license,
license.
because then I feel like it solves the problems, because then Brandon can move in, or you know what I mean? Like they have to just shift things around. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, we have to wait 2 weeks for this.
I know.
How am I going to deal? I don't know how I'm going to deal. I
forgot
get to go
about
back and rewatch.
Be super busy throughout.
Yeah, we're gonna watch episode 15.
Yeah, we're gonna
That's what I really want to.
1:15. That's a good reminder, though. They are definitely off next week, as will we, because we'll have nothing to talk about. We talked about Mike briefly, though. This is such an awesome relationship. Mike is becoming the the older, wise man that has great advice.
Oh my
Yes.
gosh. And handles every situation so flawlessly.
Yes, I loved his advice to AJ about like getting away from Callie, because it was so phrased so nicely.
Yes.
It wasn't like, this is bad, run. It was like, hey, let's talk about it. It's probably not the best idea.
Yeah.
And he refrained from saying, also, this has happened already before.
Yeah.
Right.
With
Yeah.
my son, it's one of those things where, honestly, Mike is probably thinking, she's just one of those girls. She's going to do that to you. Nothing's going to come
Yeah.
from it. Just stay away from it.
And I love how when AJ had to tell him about taking the paint and everything with Rita there, he was expecting a reaction from Mike, and Mike was just like, okay.
Rita made me laugh so hard
love
when she was
that.
like, sorry for narking right there. And she was so straightforward. I died. I was like, get it, Rita. You are hood pretty much. He's like, I didn't mean so, but let's continue on these rules.
That's true. I thought that was funny too.
No, because it's one of those things where it's
The
like,
way
well,
she said
it's
it.
what you did, so own up to it.
True.
And I think that made him calm and made AJ not lash out or freak out.
Yeah, of
because they
course.
both were just like, well, talk to us about it.
I know. And then so when we met the brother, the brother was like surprised that you're living with a cop. That was a fun touch, I thought. But he mentioned a couple times about leaving town. Do we
Yeah.
still think that's on AJ's radar, or is he fairly settled?
No, AJ's he's still thinking about running.
Yeah, I think it's on his radar,
it's-
but he's not going to do it.
I think it's a harder choice to make now.
It is, because he was introduced to what ambition looks like and what a house with someone who is like a minority and all these different kids who are fosters, that you can have success. You know, he's just so used to one way that now that he's introduced to something, it's going to spark him to kind of want to stay and to figure out what else he can do. It rids him of his ignorance, you know?
Yeah.
He was a little bit ignorant before, and now he's not.
And he doesn't seem like a runner. You know what I mean? He seems like even when he was introduced, he seemed like somebody who was looking just for family.
Yeah.
Like he was looking for his brother. I don't think he's ever had this like mentality that's like how Ty is, where it's everybody's out to get him. It's just, even when, you know, that police officer attacked him and threw him on the ground, he didn't attack back or anything. I think he wants to be loved and he wants to be in a
He wants to
home.
be settled. And Mike is offering him a future. He even said, he's like, I want him to go to college. This is forever.
Yeah.
That speech
How
was
do you-
amazing.
How do you run away from that?
Yeah, it's just hard to see, because now I feel like we're gonna have that character dilemma within AJ, and it's like, do I listen to my blood, or do I
Yeah.
stay in the situation I'm in? It's so hard, because now he has a father figure, and then there's Ty telling him, like, he's not your dad.
Right.
Like, you need to realize this. Like, I'm your family. I'm your family.
And
It
when
must
you're
be hard.
17, how do you pick the guy that you grew up with, your brother who's like your blood relative, and this great like mentor father figure?
Also, his brother's in trouble, because in the last episode they were supposed to meet up, and he was like, I can't meet up. I'm in, like, what kind of trouble are you in? What do you mean you're in trouble? So we don't know what he's done, which could make AJ's situation even worse.
Yeah.
And I feel like, you know, we have 3 episodes for that to come out, which is really exciting.
I just feel like his storyline is continuing from High School Musical. He's played by Chris Warren, the kid who liked to bake. You know, he just hasn't grown up.
It's such a change of pace for him on this show, and I love him in this character.
Me too.
Like, he
It fits him
looks
very
great.
well.
He's doing it so, like, organically. It just seems really great for him.
I know. Something too with AJ flirting with the idea of staying or going. It's like an issue of like casting, like a series regular, like do we want to add him to the show? Because he could very easily just stay where he is and like be there permanently. And I know that we're biased because we met Tom and had him on the show a couple weeks ago, but I love him on the show.
I know.
I think it'd be an awesome addition for season 3B and 4 and 5, 6.
I agree.
I really like him as a person too, but
Yeah.
but on the show, like he's just, I think we haven't seen such a genuine character,
Yeah.
and he plays it like he feels it, and I think
Yes.
that's the difference. You know, he talked to us a lot about a lot of the things that AJ has gone through and how he gets into character, and I don't know, like I just like who he is, and I like what his character is doing for Mike.
Yes, completely.
And I think that's a big part of it.
It is. It's helping both of them
Yeah.
because it's like one of those where you're not around those who are closest to you, so they give you the freedom to make these mistakes and grow, whereas anyone's going to judge you because they know you.
And I think it's honestly, I think it'd be an important storyline to show for the show in general, that does all these great storylines, but to have a character like Mike bring in an 18, like somebody who could is about to be legal on his own, but yet want to take him in and be a part of his life forever. That's like kind of unheard of. That doesn't really happen often, you know. And to take in somebody that grown and I think it'd be a beautiful relationship to show and for them to continue. And to not continue it would just be, I think it'd be a disservice.
And I think I'm going to get to your Twitter comment, but I know that AJ has in the back of his mind. I'm getting older.
Yeah.
No, nobody wants, like, people would prefer younger kids. And also, like, he's been in and out of homes. He can compare those experiences to this of Steph, Lena, and now Mike. Like, he knows how good he has it, I hope. What do you got for us? Twitter
Twitter is freaking out right now. Dustin Bradley said, I still think that Ty was the person who hit the twins and Anna. I'm still believing that. I feel like AJ is in trouble. He did the car crash, I think. I still think Ty is the one involved with the hit and run. I mean, the way the Fosters have been going, I feel like they introduce characters for very specific reasons. And I feel like maybe they might be onto something here. I mean, I think we had thought that originally when we found out that, you know, AJ had a brother and, you know, we had our curiosities about him, but literally everyone is just...
That is such a specific, like, prediction that is, like, very easily could work into the show.
It could, and that's sort of what's freaking me out. Also, a lot of people are saying in season 2, episode 10, Callie goes to Rita's house, which isn't Girls United.
Okay.
Is it not?
So maybe she's has her own place. Maybe so at this point, I have no idea. Maybe he's staying in Rita's house. I don't know how that would work out with a house full of girls and a guy.
Yeah.
That, especially with those girls.
Yeah.
And especially after he made out with Callie under the same roof as her. I don't know if Rita would want him in
Yeah,
a
and she knows that.
So
yeah.
that'll be interesting to see with that. If Ty did cause the car crash, though, that would be a great impetus to give AJ to run. Like, you ruined this family. We got to leave.
That would scare him off.
Well, I mean, think about it. Steph has been looking for these people or person that was involved in this, and now he sort of is caught in the middle between his brother and the home that he's been staying in. That just sucks. I hope that's not true.
Also, like, it could have been, too, that, like, it was AJ and or both of them going off this theory.
Right?
Like, the
That's
writers
what I was
don't-
thinking, too. I don't think it would be only Ty. If Ty has anything to do with that car crash, AJ was in the car with him.
Yeah.
No, but I hate that because then I guess it just depends if he like saw through the windshield. But I imagine if he was in the car crash that he would have recognized them.
No, think about it. You
Recognize-
crash your car and you say,
God,
don't
yeah.
look back.
holy crap, go, go, go. You don't
Yeah.
say, like, well, these people ran. So they don't say, or is it bad because it was
Like, are
seen
they
as
okay?
bad.
No, you just bounce.
Has the car crash been brought up in front of him at all yet?
No, but Anna's back pains, her pains from the accident are being brought up. So technically they're referencing the accident.
And the writers are good. They don't let storylines just disappear.
Yeah.
They always
That's what
bring
I'm
them
saying.
back.
That was the little reminder. So that's the only reason why I thought, I'm like, maybe
And there
everyone
was
does have
also
a
the
point.
reminder that we got, I feel like it was in episode 2 or 3 of the season where Steph was still trying to, she's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, I don't have any leads yet, you know?
Oh, man.
I honestly thought that the car that Callie and Mariana bought were going to be in connection with, because remember how it had a dent in it? That was like one of our predictions last week.
Oh, I forgot.
I didn't think it was going to be stolen.
I was real proud of myself when they were like stolen car. I was like, who said it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I literally said that out loud.
Just to clarify, do we think the old man was scamming them by selling them?
Yeah, he stole the car.
Oh,
and it was,
man.
Yeah.
Or it was
Sneaky
through
old
him,
man.
or they get an old man like that to just do the money part. Because
Yeah.
people
I didn't
would
want to
sell
believe them. Oh, that's so sad. I liked during that first initial scene too that Mariana's so excited, and I could still see the
Callie's-
in her eyes, like you did this with Wyatt, and I'm gonna forgive you, but I'm still not all the way there. So I like that continuation.
Yeah.
I'm happy that that was a stolen car and that they lost their money, because it was one of those things where, that is why you do things with parents. That was so silly for them to think that they could get a car on their own. It was just funny. It was one of those lessons learned that people, like kids and teenagers, go through that was appropriate for the show.
I loved Mariana though being like, so are we going to get the money back?
I know.
Because I would have thought the same, like, no, you're absolutely not going to, but I would have thought the exact same thing initially. Like, so who's going to pay me back?
I mean, if they catch the guy, they could possibly get it back.
Right?
I don't know. They didn't have car insurance. We know that. I kind of hated, and
They're
The
not
Fosters
covered.
is not the only show that does this, but that the promo was centered on them getting arrested in the car.
Yeah.
And so it makes it seem like a high-speed chase. And I just felt like a reality TV show where like they're cutting like the person's words together to be like, I killed the entire world.
Yeah.
But really it's like, I killed like the world.
Yeah.
And they cut it. And I was like, I don't know, it's a little faking out. So I was a little bit let down that it wasn't like the focus of the show.
That's true.
But that's my beef with TV in general. Okay, so we need to definitely talk about Mariana's issue.
Yeah.
This episode.
I thought those were the most the best scenes for the entire episode was with her. Can I maybe mention the first one where
Sure.
after the fact, when they come and speak to Anna at the house, did you see Steph and Lena just lean back and listen to Mariana like rep her family?
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so good. But I thought this was really good because I was wondering when religion was going to come up in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked by the parents' initial reaction.
So was I.
They're liberals, they're accepting people. Had Mariana come to them and said, I'm a lesbian, I think I'm transgender, I like want to move to Africa, I think I'm black, like Rachel Dolezal, they would have said, yeah, girl, we support you.
Right.
But yet religion, like if
Yeah.
she wants to be baptized, let her be baptized. So, I don't know, I was just like shocked by that they didn't entertain a conversation with her.
I thought it was I agree. I thought the same thing. And I was like so mad at both sets of parents for a hot minute there. Like the way that Steph and Lena didn't accept that. And then also the way that the grandparents were not accepting
I know.
either. But then when the grandma was like, so what is it though that you have against that? You wouldn't be okay with your child believing in God? And I was like, thank you for calling them out on that, because if you are going to be accepting, you have to like broaden your horizons on all categories. You know what I mean? And
Right. And I thought that was important too, because it was one of those things where, first of all, abuelitas always know best. And no, it was funny because I thought the same thing too. I'm like, you guys need to understand, especially because it's not like she's getting into something bad. Regardless of what the actual religion is, when someone has faith, you've never really seen it do anything very negative, with the other exception of like terrorism and stuff. But that's not the case here. So you could tell it was definitely just, I felt like right away I was like, Steph, we know that you had a bad experience, but fall back.
yeah.
And whether or not the Gutierrezes were pressuring Mariana or not pressuring her, like she still is allowed to explore religion and like make that mistake for herself if it is a mistake. That being said, like the Gutierrez, it's so important to them, and they want to make Mariana important to them. Like it's a natural correlation. And so I was okay with like Steph's baggage of like being rejected from her church.
Right.
Because while not like every Christian thinks they're a sinner, there is definitely sects that do.
Yeah.
It's hard. I was getting a lot of tweets about how people were really upset that religion can't be seen in a positive light, and I think they were disappointed by the fact that there wasn't any overwhelming positivity with it in this episode. Saying that, I do appreciate that Steph and Lena did come around and say, well, we had always said that our children would have the freedom to choose. And I do think that that's sort of an amazing thing. You know, you kind of have your own idea of who God is. Everyone identifies with religion differently.
Right.
And, you know, it varies by person to person, even within specific religions. So I was happy that Mariana heard the priest out. And And I'm proud of her for the decision that she made, even though it went against what her blood family wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think that shows decision making is very adult.
Yes.
And I think that in this situation, she made a really difficult adult decision, and she knew that it was going to hurt people's feelings. But I'm glad that they showed something like that, because it is the reality. You know, again, like Jeff said, not every church is like that.
Right.
In this situation, unfortunately, she heard the word sinner and she was completely turned off. And I get that for Mariana's character.
Right.
I get that. I understand that.
And for a young girl, because I agree with everyone that said that. I wish that there wasn't anything overwhelmingly positive. However, right when that was happening, right when she was having the discussion with the priest, I knew that she was going to be scared out of it. That's why when you go through baptisms, or when you're at that age, that's when you're confirming. Baptism is just kind of what you start off with, and like they said, to rid the devil of your body.
Right.
And I just feel like sometimes if shows are going to use religious, aspects, they did a pretty good job at letting the priest be normal and saying, of course, we're going to accept them, at least using those words, acceptance. But they also, for that to have happened quickly, I don't think actual Catholic parents would have been like, you need to do it right away, because it is kind of a especially as an adult, it's a big decision, and you really do have to learn what it is about. And the Catholic Church now is changing so much.
Yeah.
Right.
So
do you remember old Mariana, how she was always craving for acceptance? Remember when we first met her, she was willing to change herself? I think that also played a part into this. She saw this is what her family, her blood relatives want. She felt like she needed to do this without really looking into it.
Exactly.
What I loved the most, though, about this storyline, that because religion is a tough subject, and the minute that they started going into it, I was like, oh God, I was just terrified for what they were going to do with it. But I loved the most about it is I felt that what they were trying to show is how it is a personal thing, and it is not about it is not even really about your family or what your family raises you on, because both sides of the family felt differently. And when Mariana went to Steph and Lena and talked to them about it, they were like, no, we are not, including Mariana in that statement. We do not go to church. We do not do this. And I was like, you are speaking for her. She is like a young adult coming into herself. She needs to find her own faith, whether that is different from yours or not. And I felt like in the conclusion of what she decided, it was a decision that she made on her own and had to be accepted by both sides of the family. And they had to choose to accept that, and they did. And I thought that was what was most important about it, is that we, by the end of the episode, went away.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And that's what I felt like was most important about the whole storyline.
Yeah, and I just want to be clear, because I know that people did have problems with this storyline. But I want to be clear that this is an example of a Catholic priest and family that did have a problem with them being sinners. It's not a representation of all of Catholicism.
Yeah,
and I don't think the
absolutely.
show is claiming to represent that at all.
Right.
Yeah.
I completely
Right, and that's just typically what you see, and that's what's traditionally trying to change right now.
Yeah.
I agree, and that's the thing with Steph, when to go back to what you were saying, especially when Steph said no, just because I was surprised. Not because why wouldn't you want that, but just because of how they are.
Right.
So I was like, oh, you sound like your dad right now. And I think that they had to take a moment to realize that, because when they showed up at the church, I thought that was beautiful to support your child in doing this. And I was proud of Mariana for actually not going through it right away, because I think that's a big deal to follow through with it.
And ultimately, she didn't know enough about it to make that choice.
Exactly.
When he was saying the speech, I was like, honey, you don't know what Catholicism is.
He
you
didn't
may
even know
that-
enough about her.
Yeah.
Right.
They were doing their little pre-interview, and I was like, you don't even have the right
know.
information. This is heartbreaking. Geez.
Yes.
I know. So all this drives Anna to bolt. I thought that this next scene took me so off guard when she came over with the baby.
Yeah.
To give it
Oh,
away.
yeah.
You can't keep doing this to the family to relive everything with Frankie, but also to Mariana, who all she wants to be is the perfect big sister. It's gonna crush her week after week.
That scene with Steph and Lena, I was just like,
Oh my God, I know. That was...
yeah.
Whew.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Oh God, Steph.
About the
In the,
tree?
in the kitchen.
Talking about
Just
Frankie.
making sure. No, I know.
yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
okay.
what are we talking
no,
about?
because I didn't know if you were talking about when Anna came and then the grandparents.
What are we talking about?
I got so excited because of your guys' reaction, but no,
Oh no, the
that
scene with
was
Frankie. Yeah.
that was incredible, and I was happy at that moment, because she was right. I shouldn't have said it in therapy, but they finally. I'm so happy that Lena found out. I think I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Like, that made me cry when I was watching it last night, because I was like, that probably is what it is. And now Stephanie can be more reasonable and can talk to her, and that changes everything for them. Like, right away, even through the screen, I thought the energy was different.
Right? It changes the field, like, opens up the field of communication, even to talk about the kiss and everything. It will change the whole, it's just going to open up a lot of more honesty between them in a positive way, rather than, like, fighting it out.
And talking about them fighting, I loved seeing them like jointly together on the religion argument. Even though I didn't believe what they were fighting for.
Right.
But just this scene talking about Frankie and the tree and how hurt she still is was, like you said, one of the most beautiful scenes of the season, and also one of the most necessary, because it's such a major thing that happened to them. And this is something that does take time to get over. So to show that, like, oh my God.
Yeah, and also another like real thing that they brought up, which I think a lot of, people that are watching the show, they're young, they don't really know about these things, but Anna is very depressed, and when she said, I feel no connection to this baby.
Right away, you were
so many women postpartum depression. Absolutely. It's like, it's a huge thing. You hear all these stories about, it's the woman is with the baby, they might not have a husband's there, they might not have a wife, the wife not be there, and it's just something that happens, the baby blues. And we hear about it all the time, and it's nice to see on television somebody, showing that to everyone.
Of course. Yeah. I saw that for the first time at a restaurant. We were just around, a woman came in, she had her baby, and she was drinking though. But she was by herself, and someone was going to come get her, and every time everyone would be looking at her, she's like, it's okay, I'm fine. It's okay, I'm fine. And then told one of the hostesses, like, I have postpartum. And it was just so sad, because you wouldn't think that someone would just say it, but they had nothing else to say, and it was just right when I saw that, I was like, God, that is so real, and it's so sad, especially when Anna said, it's what I felt with you and Jesus.
Oh God, that broke my heart.
But you know what? But I thought if I was Mariana, I think I would feel better. I think it'd be like, well, you know what? That there was an issue.
Yeah,
and good for
true.
Mariana to say that I still believe in her no matter what, especially when she defended them, saying she's done everything bad to me also since I've met her, but I haven't given up on her.
And how heartbreaking too that yes, she was like going like through addiction and whatnot when she had Mariana Jesus, but also the postpartum depression.
Exactly.
Like she never had a chance. She literally didn't. So amazing to see Mariana too sticking up to the grandparents.
Yeah,
that was wonderful.
Wonderful. They were able to voice each side of things. She's been ruining our life for this many years, and she's like, I've been wanting her to like be perfect for this many years. That competing thing. We're running out of time though. We got to briefly talk about Brandon.
Yes.
Okay.
At Idlewild. His friend Tony semi-stole his idea. What is he doing?
Made me so mad. And when they had that little conversation in the woods, I'm going to say one thing. I thought, I don't know why, but I thought it
Brandon
was a very...
They were just going to tongue each other? Because that's what I thought. Oh.
I thought Brandon looked very sexy is what I was going to say.
He did.
I thought he was like stormed off very like, ooh. And I was like, ooh. Ooh, baby.
David Lambert.
Anyways, sorry. I just had to say that. But I was surprised that the minute that it started, if I were Brandon, I would have jumped up. I would have been like, whoa. Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now?
Well, we have to remember that he can't really ruffle feathers because he's there on borrowed time, pretty much. And I think that it's really crappy what's his name? Tony did. But I feel like it was a little bit of like a lesson-ish. And I don't know if it was Tony being like, I'm going to bring the best out of this person because I think he's amazing, or if it was him just being...
a biter?
I don't know. Like, it was very confusing because the way his face was after the camera pan, it was kind of like, he's like, yeah, I got the reaction out of him that I wanted. And he's going to like kick my butt and it's going to be like, that's how I felt. And it was very weird because you could take it either way. You could take it as he was really meanly stealing Brandon's idea and that was it and he doesn't care. Or you could take it as he was trying to teach him to go with his creative gut.
Yeah.
It's
there are ways to do that is not that.
Maybe the creative gut, I think I only saw it was very cowardly. I think there are people in the world who just copy. And because they see something that's good, and so that's why he kind of veered him the other way. And it's one of those things where when it comes to your own creativity, that's why you don't really need to consult things, because you should just believe in what you're doing and then do it, because that's why an artistic piece is an artistic piece. I don't know. I don't think there was anything more than just him being like a shady kid, and that was that. And just a lesson to be learned. You can't trust anybody.
Yeah,
like
there's
that.
High stakes too.
Exactly.
People are also
he was just trying to be shady.
Brony.
No.
Hashtag brony, Brandon and Tony.
Do we have to make it awkward? Just like,
Well, I don't know what to believe anymore because originally the internet told me that Tony was going to be Callie's love interest.
Right.
That didn't happen. Someone else said that that Tony had a crush on Brandon.
Yep, I heard that too.
So
can it
who
just
knows?
be like just a bromance though? Like, I want Brandon to have a good guy friend. Like, why can't we just have that? He doesn't have any good guy friends.
Does he have any friends?
Exactly. I'm like, he needs a good guy friend, but like, to me, this is a shady. And if they're introducing this character to be that for Brandon, then I'm like, there are better ways of going about it. Don't start a friendship on a shady note. If he wants to support Brandon, do it in an appropriate way. At that moment when Brandon asked him what he should have done, he should have encouraged him to just take a leap and go for it. Oh God, it made me
That's
so
not the
mad.
case, but Brandon also has a dramatic life, so we're at this.
I know. Guys, we got to segue to some predictions. I hope you've got some good ones.
I had one earlier, and I had to
you
put it on.
remember it?
I put it away. No, I put it away.
I know you forgot.
Man, it was such a good prediction. It had to do with the previews. Think about what happened on the previews. Did
Well,
you
now I forget. I watched. Did I?
The hitting.
Oh my God, I
With
didn't see the
Rita.
preview.
The Girls United people. Yeah, Rita
The
said I
hitting
would
with
never
Rita.
hit a girl.
Yeah, there was like a girl with a black eye.
I wonder if one of the girls is saying it though. That's gonna be crazy.
Who knows?
Anyway, I really want Johnner to come back. We haven't seen, both Gavin and Hayden have not been in the last 2 episodes, so it's been really weird. And the Johnner fans are still strong because I get tweets about them all the time. Thank you guys for that. So hopefully they come back. I don't know because I don't really read the synopsis of the forthcoming episodes.
Yeah.
But I do hope that we find out what they've been up to since we have no idea. Also, Jude wasn't at the table when everyone was eating this episode, which I thought was really weird.
It's just
Rude
weird.
statement.
Yeah, it's weird because they made Jude and Connor the shining example of like relationships, the youngest kiss in TV history, and they're like, we gave you that, taking it away.
But
It's like, where else can they take the relationship?
I have to be 100% honest. I saw the ratings for this week. The ratings went up, which is amazing. Like, that's great for the Fosters.
Yeah.
But my Twitter interaction is way down. And even during our show tonight, less people are tweeting.
And you think that's because of John?
I think it's because of Johnner.
Wow.
I
Yeah,
do.
but that's because that's a younger generation. Actually, our Twitter, who's tweeting at us, kind of trips me out. I'm like, wow, they're so involved and pay attention to different things that what we do.
Yeah.
Like you said, though, the viewership has been breaking records every week for the Fosters, so it's catching on.
Yeah.
It's the most subversive show on TV. It's a gem.
I love it.
Do you guys have anything specific to add?
No.
No, I just want to. Let's just hope that the family stays strong. Because it's about to get super rough with AJ and Callie and Brandon.
Yeah.
And I want to see more moments like the one at the table where Lena and Steph said, "She's not your daughter and she's not your child."
Yeah, you spend time with her because of I let you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mama Tiger was
Rawr.
out. I have nothing specific to say, although I'm just excited to see what happens with Callie's app she's creating, Frost and Found. What an awesome idea.
Hopefully
I
they accept it because it didn't seem like they were going to in that meeting.
And yet, I had such a beef with that lady because she was like,
too.
yeah, like you're no face-to-face interaction. I'm like, this could help every foster
Right?
kid in the
Yeah.
country / world.
Yeah.
I know.
What are we gonna do, guys? Until next week, where can everybody find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jillian Leff, on my Facebook page, Jillian Leff Official, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jillian Leff.
You all can find me on Instagram and Twitter at the Hotshot Dude, and listen to Jillian sing. I just posted a video of her singing. She's awesome.
Hannah!
Y'all can find me on Twitter at Stephanie Giorgi and on Instagram at the Stephanie Giorgi.
And I tweet from Jeff Masters 1. Guys, we will not see you next week, but the following week. Good night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later!
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.